The CEO asked if my $40,000 bonus helped. My boss's face went pale. The crystal chandelier catches my eye as I reach for my water glass, hand trembling. Mr. Caldwell, our CEO, sits 3 seats down, laughing with the VP. I've worked at Pinnacle Tech for 6 years, but this is my first executive dinner. My manager, Derek Ashford, sits across from me, smiling confidently. He's why I'm here, or so he told me. You earned this, Alex, he'd said yesterday. The CEO specifically asked for you. I'd felt pride then. Now, as Mr. Caldwell's attention shifts toward me, I feel nervous anticipation. Derek catches my eye and nods encouragingly. The waiter refills wine glasses. Someone mentions quarterly results. I smooth my napkin, trying to look professional, trying to belong. Mr. Caldwell turns fully toward me. His kind eyes crinkling. Alex, right? Finance analysis? I nod, throat dry. I wanted to personally thank you, he continues warmly. Your forecasting model saved us millions. Tell me, did that bonus help? I pushed hard to make sure it reflected your contribution. The room tilts. Bonus? My mind races backward through 3 months, checking my bank account, reviewing pay stubs, reading emails. Nothing. No bonus. No mention of one. I glance at Derek, expecting confusion to mirror my own, but his face shows something different, panic, quickly masked. My voice comes out small. What bonus? The words hang in the air. Mr. Caldwell's smile falters. The $40,000 performance bonus. I signed off personally in August. Derek assured me you received it. Every eye turns to me, then Derek. My manager's face has gone pale, but he forces a laugh. There must be confusion with paperwork, sir. You know how HR can be. HR processed it 8 weeks ago, Mr. Caldwell interrupts. Tone shifting from warm to sharp. I followed up specifically because of the amount. I look directly at Derek now, really look at him. His eyes won't meet mine. His hand grips his wine glass too tightly. And suddenly, horribly, I understand. The bonus existed. The money was real. But it never reached me. I'd started at Pinnacle Tech fresh from university, drowning in student loans. Derek noticed my work ethic. You've got instincts, Alex, he'd said. Stick with me, and I'll make sure you go places. I believed him completely. He became my mentor, my advocate. When other analysts left for competitors, Derek convinced me to stay. Loyalty matters here. The people who stick around get rewarded. So I stayed. I worked harder. When Derek asked me to handle his weekend reports, I did it without complaint. When he needed someone to cover his presentation mistakes, I fixed them silently. That's what good team players do, he'd said. I won't forget this. When the time comes, I'll make sure you're taken care of. Now, at this dinner table, I realize how naive I'd been. Mr. Caldwell sets down his fork, the pleasant atmosphere evaporating. Derek, perhaps you can explain why Alex seems completely unaware of a bonus I specifically approved? Derek's practiced smile returns, but there's sweat on his forehead. Sir, I think there's been a miscommunication. Miscommunication? Mr. Caldwell's voice cuts like ice. It was a direct payment to one employee for one specific project. Derek tries again. What I mean is, Alex is part of a team. Sometimes we pool resources. Stop. Mr. Caldwell holds up one hand. Are you telling me you took a bonus meant for your employee and redistributed it without authorization? The silence is deafening. Derek's face cycles through emotions, panic, anger, calculation. Finally, he settles on indignation. With respect, sir, I manage my team's compensation. Alex is young, inexperienced with large sums, best for whom? I hear myself ask. My voice is steady now, cold. Everyone looks at me. Derek's eyes flash warning, but I'm beyond caring. Best for whom, Derek? The ride home is a blur. Mr. Caldwell ended the dinner immediately, asking me and Derek to report to his office tomorrow at 8. Now, alone in my apartment, I pull up every email, every document. The forecasting model Mr. Caldwell mentioned, I'd worked on it for 7 months, through weekends and holidays. Derek had presented it to the board. I'd written every formula, but his name was on the presentation. I find a folder, Q3 Performance Bonuses. My hand shakes as I click it. There's a spreadsheet. My name is listed. Project, Revenue Forecasting Model. Amount, $40,000. Approval, Caldwell, CEO. Processed, August 12th, recipient account. The account number doesn't match mine. I cross-reference it with the company directory. It takes 15 minutes, but I find it. The account belongs to Derek Ashford. He didn't redistribute my bonus. He stole it. He literally changed the account number and deposited my money into his own account. Sleep doesn't come. I replay every interaction with Derek. How many times did he take credit for my work? The client report I'd salvaged when he miscalculated projections, he presented it as his own catch. The analysis that got him promoted, I'd done 70% of it. Every time, he'd thanked me privately, promised future rewards. You're building a reputation, he'd say. When I move up, you move up. My phone buzzes at 2 a.m. Derek, we need to talk before tomorrow. This is a misunderstanding. Don't make this worse than it needs to be. The implied threat is clear. But something has shifted in me. Card statements show expensive dinners, a new watch, car payments. I can prove the bonus was meant for Alex, Mr. Caldwell says quietly. I wrote the approval memo myself. No mention of team distribution. Nancy adds, redirecting approved compensation without consent constitutes embezzlement. That's criminal, Derek. The word hangs. Criminal. Derek's face goes white. This is ridiculous. 12 years I've given this company. One administrative error and you're treating me like a criminal? One error? I find my voice, surprised by its strength. You stole my bonus. Lied to me. Lied to the CEO. How many other errors have there been? Mr. Caldwell signals us to stop. Derek, you're suspended immediately, pending investigation. Security will escort you out. Derek stands abruptly. You're making a huge mistake. I made that kid's career. Everything they know, I taught them. The mask is completely off now. You didn't teach me anything, I say quietly. Except how easy it is to exploit trust. Security arrives. As they escort him out, he's still protesting, still threatening. The door closes. Sit down, Alex, Mr. Caldwell says gently. I collapse into the chair. I'm sorry you experienced this, he continues. What Derek did is unacceptable. We'll investigate. Fully. You'll receive your bonus, with interest, within 48 hours. Pamela adds, you did the right thing. I know it wasn't easy. The investigation expands. I'm not Derek's only victim. Tanya Williams comes forward. Derek promised her a promotion 2 years ago, then gave it to his business school friend. Jordan Lee reports Derek took credit for his algorithm optimization. Samantha Brooks reveals Derek pressured her to fudge numbers. She refused, and he gave her a negative review. Each story is different, but the pattern is identical. Derek used his position to exploit, manipulate, and steal. The company brings in an external auditor. They find discrepancies going back 5 years. My $40,000 bonus is just the most blatant example. Friday, Mr. Caldwell calls an all-hands meeting. We failed you. We should have caught this sooner. We're implementing new oversight protocols. This will never happen again. But words don't erase damage. Tanya tells me over coffee she's still job hunting. I can't trust this place anymore. Jordan is angry. We were too scared to speak up. Derek had power, connections. The bonus arrives, 40,000 plus 3,000 interest. More money than I've ever seen. I stare at the number, feeling nothing. No joy. Just exhaustion. That night, my mom calls. I tell her everything. I'm proud of you. Not everyone has courage to stand up to someone with power over them. I didn't feel courageous. I felt terrified. That's what courage is, she replies. Being terrified and doing it anyway. Derek's replacement arrives, Michelle Foster. In her first meeting, she addresses it directly. I know what happened. I know trust is broken. I won't ask you to trust me immediately. I'll earn it through my actions. She implements an open-door policy, reviews project credits regularly, creates anonymous feedback mechanisms. Slowly, the department begins healing. But I'm struggling. The psychological damage lingers. I second-guess everything. When Michelle praises my work, I wonder if she means it. When colleagues are friendly, I question motives. I start seeing a therapist. Dr. Philip specializes in workplace trauma. What you experienced is betrayal by a trusted authority figure. Healing takes time. In sessions, I process the anger I didn't let myself feel. Derek was never your friend, Dr. Philip says gently. He was a predator. That's not your fault. 3 months after the dinner, Nancy calls. The district attorney is filing charges. Embezzlement, fraud, theft. They want you to testify. My stomach drops. In court? Yes. Your testimony is crucial. I think about Tanya, Jordan, Samantha. I'll do it. Mid-December, I get an email from an unknown address. You made a mistake. It's from Derek. You destroyed my life over a misunderstanding. My family is suffering. Drop the charges, admit you were confused, and I'll consider forgiving you. Otherwise, you'll regret this. I forward it to Nancy immediately. That's witness intimidation, she says, furious. He just made things worse for himself. In January, Pinnacle Tech offers me a promotion, senior financial analyst. Michelle delivers the news. This is pure merit, Alex. Your forecasting model continues delivering results. You've earned this. I accept. The preliminary hearing arrives. The courtroom is smaller than expected. Derek sits at the defense table, looking diminished. When our eyes meet, he looks away. The prosecutor presents evidence, bank records, emails, testimony. The case is overwhelming. The judge isn't buying Derek's defense. This appears to be clear embezzlement. We'll proceed to trial. Outside the courtroom, Derek's lawyer approaches. My client wants to offer a settlement. He'll plead to a lesser charge, pay full restitution plus damages, no jail time. I look at the prosecutor. She shrugs. Your call. I think about it. I want full restitution including interest, plus 20,000 for emotional damages. And he has to personally apologize, in writing, to everyone he hurt. Not lawyer drafted. His own words, acknowledging specifically what he did. The lawyer frowns. That's unusual, those are my terms. After 3 days of negotiation, Derek agrees. I receive $63,000 total. More importantly, I receive a 3-page letter that will haunt him forever. Derek's letter arrives by courier. I read it alone. To Alex Carter, I stole your $40,000 bonus by redirecting it to my personal account. I lied about this theft to you and our CEO. I took credit for your forecasting model and numerous other projects. I exploited your loyalty and hard work for my personal advancement. The letter continues, naming others, detailing specific instances. He concludes, I cannot undo the damage I caused. I can only acknowledge it fully and commit to never abusing a position of trust again. I fold the letter carefully. This confession will follow him everywhere. Justice, finally, in his own handwriting. 6 months after the dinner, I'm leading my first major project, a predictive model for market expansion. During the kickoff meeting, Mr. Caldwell pulls me aside. I want to apologize again, Alex. I should have been more involved. If I had been, Derek's behavior would have been caught years sooner. You trusted your manager, I reply. That's normal. Trust should be verified, he counters. I've learned from this too. I reconnect with my college friends. I start painting again. I join a volleyball league. With the settlement money, I pay off half my student loans. The weight that's been crushing me suddenly lifts. One evening, working late by choice, I look around my new office. My name is on the door. The project files are mine, credited to me. This is what I was promised but never received, actual advancement, earned through merit. In September, nearly a year after the dinner, I'm invited to speak at a corporate leadership conference about workplace ethics. We think your perspective would be valuable, the coordinator explains. I'm terrified but agree. The conference is huge, hundreds of managers and executives. I stand backstage, wondering what I've gotten myself into. Then I remember everyone Derek hurt. I remember finding my voice. I walk on stage. A year ago, my CEO asked if my bonus helped. I said, what bonus? Then I looked at my boss and realized my mentor had been stealing from me for years. I tell the story simply. I explain the warning signs I missed, excessive praise without concrete rewards, promises that never materialized, requests that blurred boundaries. Derek understood that young professionals are vulnerable. We're taught to be grateful, to work hard, to trust authority. He weaponized those values against us. The room is completely silent. After my speech, dozens of people approach me. A manager admits, I think I might be doing some of what Derek did. Not intentionally, but I take credit for my team's work because I thought that's what managers do. A young professional confides, my boss takes credit for everything I do. After hearing you, I realize it's not normal. An HR director asks for advice. What would have helped you catch this sooner? I think carefully. Direct access to leadership. Anonymous reporting that gets investigated. Regular audits of project attribution. But most importantly, a culture where speaking up is rewarded, not punished. That night, I call my mom. I think I found my purpose. Not just doing good work, but helping create workplaces where exploitation can't happen. I'm so proud of you, she says. Back at Pinnacle Tech, Michelle asks me to help develop a mentorship program with accountability structures. We create clear guidelines, documented project attribution, advancement promises in writing with timelines, and separate advocates men's can approach confidentially. I'm assigned a new mentor. Carla Winters. VP with 25 years of experience. Our first meeting, she's direct. I know you've been burned. So let me be clear, I'm here to help you grow. Your successes are your own. Your work gets credited to you. If I cross a line, call me out. Deal? Deal. Under Carla's guidance, I learn what real mentorship looks like. She introduces me to her network, recommends me for opportunities, provides honest feedback, and celebrates my achievements without claiming credit. 6 months later, Carla recommends me for a director-level position. You're ready, she says. This time, I believe her. The interview process is rigorous, but I'm confident now. I know my worth. I'm offered the position. At 28, I become one of the youngest directors in Pinnacle Tech's history. The message that means the most comes from Tanya, you did it. And you did it the right way. I'm proud to know you. My new office is on the executive floor, 3 doors from where that dinner happened. Sometimes I walk past the conference room and remember that moment. I think about alternate timelines. What if Derek had processed my bonus correctly? He'd still be there, still stealing. What if I'd stayed silent, too intimidated to contradict him? Sometimes the worst moments lead to the best outcomes. I didn't choose to be exploited. But I chose to speak up. That choice made all the difference. A year after my promotion, Derek's name surfaces again. He's working at a small accounting firm in another state. Someone mentioned seeing him on LinkedIn, trying to rebuild his career. Part of me feels bitter. But then I remember, Derek lost everything that mattered to him. His reputation, his position, his illusion of success. He's working at a fraction of his former salary, with a criminal record that will follow him forever. More importantly, I didn't let what he did destroy me. I used it as fuel. I've helped implement policies that protect vulnerable employees. I've mentored junior staff. I've spoken at conferences, reaching thousands. Derek's legacy is his spectacular failure. My legacy is helping others avoid becoming his next victim. 5 years after the dinner, I'm the vice president of finance at Pinnacle Tech. My department is known for its transparency and zero tolerance for exploitation. Last month, a young analyst named Sam came to my office, nervous. "Can I ask you something confidential?" "Of course." "Close the door." Sam sat down, fidgeting. "My manager keeps taking credit for my work. When I bring it up, he says that's how teams operate. But it doesn't feel right." I felt time collapse. I was looking at my younger self. "It's not right," I said firmly. "Taking credit for someone else's work is never acceptable. Tell me everything." As Sam described the familiar patterns, I took notes. When they finished, I asked, "What do you want to happen?" "I want it to stop. But I'm afraid if I report him, I'll be labeled difficult." I understand that fear completely. I've been exactly where you are. Here's what I can tell you, speaking up is scary, but staying silent is worse. You deserve better. Sam looked at me with recognition. "You're the person from the CEO dinner story." "I'm still here because I decided this place was worth fighting for. So let me ask again, what do you want to happen?" Sam took a deep breath. "I want to file a formal complaint. I want my work properly attributed. And I want to make sure he doesn't do this to the next person." I smiled. "Then let's make that happen. You're not alone in this, Sam. Not anymore." That night, I receive an email from a conference organizer. They want me to keynote their annual leadership summit, speaking to over 2,000 executives about creating ethical workplace cultures. I accept immediately. Not for the fee, but because this message needs to reach as many people as possible. My phone buzzes. "It's Carla, dinner next week? Want to hear about your keynote plans?" I smile. "Absolutely. I'll tell you about a conversation I had today with a young analyst. Reminded me of someone I used to know." "You?" "A younger, less certain version. But they're finding their voice. Just like I did. Because you showed them it's possible. That's leadership, Alex." I return to my work, but my mind drifts to that dinner 5 years ago. If I could go back and tell my younger self what was about to happen, what would I say? Probably this: "In 30 seconds, the CEO is going to ask you a question. Your honest answer will upend your life, destroy your sense of safety, and force you to confront painful truths about someone you trusted. It will be terrifying. Do it anyway. Because on the other side of that fear is the person you were always meant to become. Someone who knows their worth. Someone who speaks truth regardless of cost. Someone who uses their pain to protect others. When he asks about the bonus, tell the truth. Then look at your boss and watch carefully. Everything you need to know is in that moment of panic on his face. Don't let him make you small. Don't let him steal your voice along with your money. Speak up. Trust yourself. And know that years from now, you'll look back on this moment not as your lowest point, but as the beginning of everything you were meant to be. The city lights twinkle outside my window. I have work to do, projects to review, people to mentor, systems to improve. But I take one more moment to appreciate the journey. From that terrified analyst to this confident leader. From victim to survivor to advocate. All because I answered one question honestly: what bonus? Those 2 words changed my life. And in speaking them, I found my voice. That voice has never stopped